because it's infuriating for you to put those things together. It's not right. Your telling of history is wrong.
What part of the history was wrong? What part of the history was wrong?
But
me regarding you as a fellow citizen.
That's what I think we should see. Whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity
about
I am,
what it's like to be black in
whatever
America.
ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I am.
Several days later.
At our feed here internally, and Don Lemon is now tweeting that he has been informed that he has been terminated by CNN. Did anyone see this one coming?
Wow.
Yes, just the same day, CNN Don Lemon has been fired. According to this article published by the Gateway Pundit, Don Lemon has been let go from CNN effective immediately. The news of Don Lemon being fired from the network came shortly after it was announced that Tucker Carlson had parted ways with Fox News. Lemon sent out a tweet about his termination. I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. It is clear that there are some larger issues at play. With that said, I want to thank my colleagues and the many teams I have worked with for any incredible run. They are the most talented journalists in the business, and I wish them all the best. That is what Don Lemon sent out on Twitter. Immediately, CNN Communication replied this. Don Lemon's statement about this morning event is inaccurate. He was offered an opportunity to meet with management, but instead released a statement on Twitter. That tells you the contradiction with what Don Lemon sent out. He claimed that he was not informed, but from what CNN is telling us, who is more fake here? From all indication, Don Lemon tells you nobody informed him. CNN says the contrary. So what is going on here? But it's actually really sad. You have worked with a network for 17 years and you just get up one morning, somebody just tell you, you have been terminated. I believe this is something they're supposed to call you. You have a communication with them. You go, you separate happily. Somebody that has worked with you for 17 years, you should be bold enough, to take hard decisions like this. Though we knew that Don Lemon will soon leave CNN. I think I did a video 2 weeks ago.
Actually, you know, funny fact is, black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that that's one of the lessons that we learned.
Aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I disagree with you on that, Don. I disagree with you. I think you're doing a disservice to our country by failing to recognize the fact that we have equality before the law.
And you live in this country, then you can disagree with me, but we're not. You mentioned in here that we have three different shades of melanin.
Don, I think we have to be able to talk about these issues in the open, regardless of the color of our skin. Black Americans today, to say that, compare that to 1865 and 1964,
I think for you to compare it to 1865 and 1964 is actually, I think it's insulting to black people. It's insulting to me as an African American. I don't want to sit here and argue with you because it's infuriating for you to put those things together. It's not right. Your telling of history is wrong.
What part of the history was wrong? What part of the history was wrong?
But
me regarding you as a fellow citizen.
That's what I think here, whatever ethnicity you are, explaining to me
whatever ethnicity
about what it's like to be black.
Whatever ethnicity I am, I'll tell you what I.
Yes, this is something I have been waiting for some time. I was impressed when I saw this happening on CNN. Don Lemon told this Republican candidate that he should not talk about this because he's not black. And he later on pushed back by saying we should have a say in everything, no matter our skin color. I don't know if you have seen this. 2024 presidential candidate angered CNN this morning host Don Lemon during a debate on gun rights for black Americans while on air. During the heated exchange, Lemon took offense to Vivek's statement at an NRA conference last week about Democrats in the South instituting gun laws to prevent African Americans from protecting their newfound rights in the post-Civil War era. Lemon reduced Vivek's point to a declaration that the Civil Rights War was fought merely to give black people guns rights and berated him for it, telling him the statement insulted him as a black person.
There are a whole plethora of reasons that for the Civil War.
With due respect, I find your explanation reductive and actually insulting, including to black Americans, to say that black people today, compared to 1964, 1865, haven't made progress in part because of the freedoms we secured. And the Second Amendment was part of what secured that
please,
freedom.
I cannot keep a thought if you guys are talking to me in my ear. So hang on one second. So to say that black people, say what you said again?
Black people secured their freedoms after the Civil War, and is a historical fact, Don. Just study it. Only after their Second Amendment rights were secured.
They were not secured their freedoms after the Civil War. That is not, you are discounting Reconstruction. You're discounting a whole host of things that happened after the Civil War when it comes to African Americans, including the whole reason that the Civil Rights Movement happened is because black people did not secure their freedoms after the Civil War, and that things turned around. People were trying to change the freedoms that were supposed to happen.
And you know how they got it? They got their Second Amendment rights, and they actually got, the NRA played a big role in that. But today, Don, the NRA
did not play a big role in that.
Absolutely, they trained black Americans how to use firearms.
That's a lie. That's not. The NRA did not play a big role in that.
This is just historical fact. But
it's not historical fact.
The part that I find,
because you say it's historical fact.
The part that I find insulting is when you say today black Americans don't have those rights after we have gone through.
Yes, I just love this happening on CNN. Like I said at the beginning of the clip, I was impressed to see this. This is something I have been waiting for someone to stand up with these people. These people have been race-baiting for a very long time. Now, Vivek stood up to point out some truth, but he seems not to be getting it. I understand you will never win Don Lemon. Yes, no matter how truthful or how right you are, he will always consider your point like you are wrong. And he even mentioned, because you are not black, you are not allowed to talk about this. It is insane. There is no topic that we should not talk about. We should be able to free up our mind on everything. Because you are not black, don't talk about these issues. This is the most insane thing that I get from these people. Why should we not talk about this? Like he has pointed out here, these are real facts. I understand some people will not accept this, but at a certain point, we should be able to have honest conversations on things like this.
You're telling an African American about the rights and what you find insulting about the way I live, the skin I live in every day.
Here's where you and I have
the
a different
freedoms
point
that
of view.
black and white that black people don't have in this country, and that black people do have.
Well, here's where you and I have a different point of view. I think we should be able to express our views regardless of the color of our skin. We should have this debate
I'm not saying you
without
shouldn't
me
express your
regarding
views,
you as a
but I think
black
it's
man.
insulting that
but
you're
me
sitting